So it's so awesome to see so many Aussies here today.
Iya, Pastor Cherry sangat senang ketemu orang Australia, saya juga.
And you know what? I came on a mission trip back 25 years ago.
Iya, Pastor
Oh,
Cherry.
no, 24.
Oh, ya.
2000. Yeah.
Pastor Cherry pertama kali di misi ke Bali 24 tahun yang lalu.
This guy was only very young.
Iya, waktu itu Pak Peter masih 17 tahun.
Very poor uni student.
Iya, masih kere.
Used to come to see what was in my fridge.
Iya, selalu datang ke rumah
Always
Pastor Cherry.
hungry.
Iya.
Elang, you're about the same, I think.
Yeah.
Always looking for food.
Iya.
Yeah.
Betul.
But you know what? God did something in my heart on that mission trip.
Ya, Tuhan memberikan sesuatu di hati saya ketika saya melakukan misi 24 tahun yang lalu.
And my prayer today is that for each one of you that have come on this trip, that
Yeah.
God will imprint something on your heart.
Iya, Tuhan, saya berdoa kepada Tuhan supaya Tuhan menaruh sesuatu di hati saudara ketika melakukan pelayanan misi hari ini.
Now, it might not mean that you come and live here like I did for a couple of years, like Steve did. For how long were you here, Steve? 3 years? Yeah. So it might not mean you have to move here, but that you have this country on your heart, Indonesia, this island of Bali.
Iya, jadi doanya Pastor Cherry supaya anak-anak sekolah yang misi ke sini menaruh Bali di hatinya.
That it will have changed your perspective of how you see the world.
Iya, juga mengubah perspektif kita bagaimana melihat dunia bukan hanya di negara kita.
And as you look at others that may have far less than what we do in Aussie,
Iya, mungkin dilihat di Australia negara yang maju, tapi di sini mungkin lebih.
and you see their heart of generosity and their beautiful smiles,
Ya, di sini mungkin kita tidak semakmur mereka, tapi kita lihat banyak orang Indonesia yang
that
bermurah
it will
hati.
cause gratitude in our lives as to what we have
Iya, juga kita orangnya ramah dan murah senyum katanya.
and cause us to continue to be generous, to be a blessing as we have been blessed.
Ya, tapi kita juga belajar untuk kita semakin murah hati dan menjadi berkat bagi orang lain.
Well, I started last Sunday on a message talking about the fact that we all have a unique race or a unique calling, a mission to fulfill.
Minggu lalu saya membagikan bagian pertama bahwa setiap kita punya panggilan yang unik dan misi yang untuk harus dipenuhi.
Especially if we are followers of Christ, we're called to go, as Jesus said, into all the world and tell others about Jesus' love.
Ya, sebagai pengikut Kristus kita semua punya misi yaitu menjadikan semua bangsa murid Kristus membagikan kasih Tuhan.
But how we do that and how we carry that out will be different and unique to each one of
Ya,
us.
bagaimana kita melakukannya? Setiap kita punya unik cara yang berbeda yang Tuhan kasih.
But whatever it is that we do, we know that we can be empowered and equipped by Holy Spirit.
Tapi apapun itu Tuhan memberikan kita kuasa melalui Roh Kudus.
And you know, the older I get, and I'm going to be 70 next month, the big 70. I never thought I'd get that age. That seemed really old. Now it seems really young.
Ya, Pastor Cherry bulan depan tanggal 23 ulang tahun ke-70. Ingat 23 Juli ya.
My goal is to say, like the Apostle Paul, that I have fought a good fight while I'm here on this earth.
Yeah.
That I have finished my race.
Ya, tujuan Pastor Cherry sama dengan Rasul Paulus bahwa saya telah mengakhiri pertandingan iman dengan baik dan saya telah hidup dengan pertandingan iman.
That I've finished what God put me on this earth for.
Ya, jadi saya menyelesaikan apa misi saya di dunia ini.
Because we all have a purpose for
Yeah.
being on this planet.
Setiap kita punya tujuan di planet ini.
And in the light of eternity, it's actually far more important how we finish than how we start.
Ya, jadi hidup dalam kekekalan itu adalah bukan bagaimana kita memulai, tapi bagaimana kita mengakhirinya.
And so we looked at a story from the Bible, which we are going to continue with today in part 2, of a man called Gideon.
Ya, jadi kita mau melanjutkan bagian 2, seorang bernama Gideon.
And he was called on a mission which looked like Mission Impossible.
Ya, kalau saudara ingat kembali minggu lalu bahwa Gideon melakukan Mission Impossible.
Now Gideon was with the Israelites in a place where they were having the enemy come and rob and steal from them all their food sources.
Ya, jadi waktu itu bangsa Midian adalah musuh dari bangsa Israel yang datang untuk mengambil semua persediaan bangsa Israel.
All their livestock, all their wheat.
Iya, persediaan makanan,
All their crops.
gandum, dan juga semua hasil panen.
And this enemy was called the Midianites.
Ya, musuhnya adalah bangsa Midian.
And Israel was at a stage where they were desperate.
Pada saat itu bangsa Israel sangat merasa kesusahan.
And even though they were God's people, they had actually rebelled against God and were doing evil in God's sight.
Walaupun mereka bangsa pilihan Tuhan, mereka melakukan apa yang jahat di mata Tuhan.
So God decided that he needed to raise up someone to rescue them.
Ya, Tuhan memutuskan untuk mengangkat seseorang untuk menyelamatkan bangsa
I
Israel.
think I said last week, good for God, because if I was God, I would have said, you deserve all you've got.
Ya, minggu lalu saya bilang kalau kita manusia bilang rasakan apa yang kau tabur, tapi Tuhan tuh Tuhan yang baik.
And he sent an angel to speak to Gideon.
Jadi muncullah malaikat berbicara kepada Gideon.
And he said to Gideon that the Lord was with him and that he saw Gideon as a mighty warrior.
Ya, kata malaikat itu, Tuhan beserta dengan engkau dan engkau adalah pahlawan yang gagah berani.
But that actually wasn't true at that particular time about Gideon.
Ya, kenyataannya Gideon bukan pahlawan yang gagah berani pada saat itu.
He'd been hiding from the enemy because he was afraid they were going to come and steal the corn or the wheat that he was harvesting.
Gideon cenderung bersembunyi dari musuh karena dia takut gandum dia dicuri.
So the angel actually had to talk to him again.
Jadi malaikat itu harus muncul yang kedua kalinya.
It wasn't enough to tell him he was a mighty warrior or a man of fearless courage.
Ya mungkin waktu itu dia masih nggak yakin kalau dia adalah seorang pahlawan yang gagah berani.
He had to give instruction to Gideon again
Dia harus memberikan instruksi lagi
and
kepada
tell
Gideon.
him to go in the strength he already had within him.
Jadi malaikat ini berkata, Gideon pergilah dengan kekuatan yang ada padamu.
See, Gideon didn't feel particularly strong, but God had placed strength within him he did not recognize.
Gideon tidak merasa kuat, tapi sebenarnya Tuhan sudah memberikan kekuatan di dalam dia yang dia tidak sadari.
And the angel spoke again and said God was sending Gideon to save Israel out of the Midianites' hands.
Tapi malaikat ini berkata, Tuhan mengutus engkau untuk menyelamatkan bangsa Israel dari bangsa Midian.
So if we wanted to sum up last week, we'd say God was speaking, Gideon, this is your mission. Are you going to decide to accept it?
Ya, jadi dikatakan minggu lalu bahwa Gideon ini adalah misimu, engkau harus memutuskan untuk menerimanya.
And Gideon's reply was, I'm too scared.
Ya, kata Gideon, saya terlalu takut.
And then God says back to Gideon, in other words, Gideon, you just have to remember, I have put strength within you.
Tapi Tuhan berkata, ingatlah Gideon, aku menaruh kekuatan di dalammu.
When you get scared, ask me to help you discover and walk in the courage and strength I've already put within you.
Ketika engkau takut, datanglah padaku supaya aku menyatakan padamu kekuatan yang kuberikan kepadamu.
In other words, he was saying to Gideon, you're putting too much pressure on yourself.
Juga kata Tuhan, Gideon, engkau terlalu menaruh banyak tekanan di dalam dirimu.
Too much focus on your ability to do what I've asked you to do.
Engkau terlalu fokus pada kemampuanmu untuk melakukan banyak hal.
He was saying to Gideon, this mission is not dependent on your ability, but on mine.
Jadi misi ini bukan tergantung dengan kekuatanmu, tapi adalah kekuatan Tuhan.
On God's ability.
Kekuatan Tuhan.
See, friends, God sees us from a different perspective.
Tuhan melihat kita dengan perspektif yang berbeda.
From a higher perspective, He wants to shape our identity so that our foundations are strong in knowing who we are.
Tuhan melihat kita dengan perspektif yang lebih tinggi supaya kita menemukan siapa diri kita di dalam Dia.
When He calls us to do something, He empowers us to be courageous warriors.
Ya, ketika Tuhan menyuruh kita melakukan sesuatu, Dia memberikan kita kekuatan untuk menjadi pahlawan yang gagah berani.
Even though it looks impossible, and for those of you that have seen the Mission Impossible movies,
Ya mungkin kelihatannya mustahil kalau saudara nonton film Mission Impossible.
We all know Ethan Hunt or alias Tom Cruise
Kita tahu pemeran utamanya Tom Cruise ya.
always succeeded on his mission.
Ya selalu sukses misi apapun itu.
He was actually quite, we would say in Aussie, cocky.
Oh, sombong dia.
Sorry, that wasn't in my notes. I hadn't thought that one through. But we are not like that.
Ya kita jangan seperti Ethan Hunt.
Our trust is not in our ability,
Yeah.
it's in God's ability.
Ya jangan bersandar pada kemampuan kita tapi kepada Tuhan.
So I'm saying this morning, open our eyes, Lord.
Makanya saya berdoa Tuhan buka mata kami.
Help us to see ourselves how you see us.
Iya, supaya kita bisa melihat dengan cara pandang Tuhan terhadap kita.
So that we're not like Gideon, who in verse 15 says, "But Lord," in Judges, this is Judges chapter 6, verse 15. "But Lord, how can I rescue Israel? My clan is the weakest in the whole tribe of Manasseh, and I am the least in my entire family."
Tetapi jawabnya kepadanya, Tuhanku, dengan apakah akan kuselamatkan orang Israel? Ketahuilah kaumku adalah yang paling kecil di antara suku Manasye, dan aku pun seorang yang paling muda di antara kaum keluargaku.
So Gideon was feeling inferior,
Ya, jadi Gideon merasa kecil,
intimidated.
terintimidasi.
He was, I'm too scared
Dia merasa sangat takut
and I'm not good enough.
dan aku kurang baik.
And that's how we can be at times as well.
Kadang mungkin kita pun seperti itu.
When there's a challenge in front of us,
Ketika tantangan di depan kita,
something we've been asked to do.
sesuatu yang diminta dari kita untuk
Even
dilakukan.
though Gideon knew and had heard about the miracles that God had performed for the Israelites,
Walaupun Gideon sudah mendengar bagaimana mukjizat yang dilakukan Tuhan terhadap bangsa Israel,
his eyes were on himself.
dia fokus pada diri sendiri.
His feelings of being unqualified, weak, and insignificant.
Karena dia merasa lemah dan tidak berarti.
And that's how we can be too, right?
Kadang kita pun merasa seperti itu, benar?
That at times when we look in ourselves, we go, oh God, that's messy.
Ya, kadang kita lihat, aduh aku nggak layak ke Tuhan.
But he looks and he goes, man and woman of fearless courage.
Tapi dia melihat kita adalah wanita dan pria yang berani.
I've created you for a purpose.
Aku menciptakan kau dengan satu tujuan.
And I will reveal that purpose step by step as you follow me.
Dan aku akan menyingkapkan langkah-langkah itu untuk engkau.
Oftentimes we're faced with things outside our comfort zones.
Kadang kita menemukan diri kita di luar zona nyaman.
Oftentimes things of giant challenges.
Kadang kita melihat banyak tantangan yang sangat besar.
And we don't feel we're qualified enough.
Kita merasa tidak punya kualifikasi yang cukup untuk itu.
When we look in the mirror, we might not like what we see.
Ya mungkin kalau berkaca kita nggak suka dengan apa yang kita lihat.
And definitely as you age, magnifying mirrors are really bad.
Iya, apalagi kalau kita udah tua lihat muka kita keriput. Oh,
But you know, God looks on the outside. God doesn't look on the outside, thank goodness.
syukurnya Tuhan nggak melihat apa yang di depan yang kelihatan oleh manusia.
He sees within.
Dia melihat apa yang di hati
And so
kita.
he speaks to what's in us and calls it out of us.
Iya, jadi dia berbicara pada apa yang di dalam kita.
And I believe he's speaking to some of you here today.
Dan saya percaya Tuhan berbicara pada saudara juga hari ini.
Some of you who are just starting to try and figure out your futures.
Mungkin saudara masih, aku mau ngapain ya ke depannya.
God already sees ahead.
Tapi Tuhan udah melihat beberapa
He's the
langkah ke
same
depan.
God yesterday, today, and forever.
Dia Allah yang sama kemarin, hari ini, dan selamanya.
He knows your future.
Dia tahu masa depan
What
saudara.
we need to do is what the Israelites finally did, call out to him.
Iya, sama seperti yang dilakukan bangsa Israel, memanggil nama Tuhan.
Talk to him.
Berbicara pada dia.
Ask for his help.
Meminta pertolongan
Ask
Tuhan.
him to reveal what are the steps in front of you.
Meminta kepada Tuhan, singkapkan apa yang harus kami lakukan.
It's always a step by step by step.
Selalu selangkah demi langkah demi langkah.
It's not a giant leap.
Iya, bukan lompatan yang sangat besar.
And he revealed the next step
Dan dia
and the next step.
menyingkapkan langkah-langkah selanjutnya.
I know some of you have already got big dreams that God has placed on your heart.
Saya percaya beberapa dari kita juga punya mimpi yang besar di hatimu.
Amen, says Pete. Amen. There's big dreams. How is Pete going to fulfill those big dreams?
Bagaimana supaya
I
seseorang kita,
agree, Steve. He couldn't do it without her.
bagaimana supaya engkau memenuhi mimpi yang Tuhan kasih itu?
You know what? As we seek God's wisdom,
Saat kita mencari hikmat Tuhan,
if we acknowledge Him in all our ways, He says,
saat kita mengakui Tuhan di setiap
He
langkah
will
kita,
direct our paths.
Dia akan menuntun jalan kita.
So we seek God's wisdom
Kita minta hikmat
and we
Tuhan.
also seek wise counsel.
Kita juga minta hikmat dari orang-orang yang kita hormati.
And we also read this
Dan juga baca firman.
and we say, God, does this line up with what your word says?
Ya, kita bertanya, Tuhan, apakah ini sesuai dengan
Or is
firman-Mu?
this contrary to what the word says?
Atau bertentangan dengan firman-Mu?
So that's how we do it, step by step,
Itulah kita melakukannya langkah demi langkah.
to see those dreams come to pass.
Supaya mimpi yang Tuhan kasih itu bisa nyata.
Always remembering that our mission or our call or our purpose is not dependent on us. It's being dependent on a supernatural God.
Ya, ingat bahwa mimpi yang kita lakukan itu bisa menjadi nyata ketika kita bersandar kepada Tuhan, bukan kekuatan kita.
But back to our story in Judges,
Yes, itu kembali ke cerita Gideon di Hakim-Hakim.
Gideon's still not convinced.
Gideon masih nggak yakin.
Even though God's spoken to him,
Walaupun Tuhan sudah
even though
berbicara,
He's confirmed that He's sending him,
walaupun Tuhan sudah mengkonfirmasikan, aku
Gideon
mengutus
still
engkau.
wants some confirmation.
Gideon masih butuh konfirmasi lebih lagi.
So he asks for some signs
Dia meminta tanda dari Tuhan
and then some more signs
dan tanda lagi.
so that he could be sure that it was God who was asking him to go on this mission impossible.
Supaya dia yakin, oh benar ini dari Tuhan untuk melakukan misi ini.
But in between asking for all these signs, Gideon actually completed one small mission for the Lord.
Ya, ketika dia meminta tanda-tanda dari Tuhan, sebenarnya Gideon menyelesaikan misi kecil.
He tore down some idols where the Israelites were worshipping false gods.
Ya, jadi dia menghancurkan patung berhala di mana waktu itu bangsa Israel menyembah berhala.
Even though he actually did it at night so no one would see.
Iya, dia melakukannya di malam hari karena takut dilihat orang.
But we have to give him credit because even though he was afraid, he still was obedient.
Iya, Gideon walaupun takut tapi dia satu hal, taat.
So here we see Gideon moving from I'm scared and I'm not good enough to okay, I'll do this little thing that you've asked me even if I am still afraid.
Iya. Walaupun Gideon merasa takut dan tidak berani, tapi dia melakukan hal kecil ketaatannya.
His faith level is starting to come higher.
Ya, jadi faith, ketaatannya naik.
So if God calls us to do something, it's not the absence of fear which will make it successful.
Ya, jadi Tuhan memanggil kita untuk melakukan sesuatu menjadi sukses itu terlepas dari rasa takut kita.
It's being obedient to what God asks us to do in spite of fear.
Ya, jadi itu berdasarkan ketaatan, bukan ketakutan.
Maybe it's to take on more responsibility in your job.
Mungkin kita harus punya tanggung jawab lebih di pekerjaan
Maybe
kita.
it's to step up into a new area of serving.
Mungkin kita harus mengambil langkah lebih lagi untuk melayani.
Maybe it's to speak to that friend or family member about what Jesus has done in your life.
Mungkin kita bagikan kepada teman atau saudara atau keluarga tentang Yesus dalam hidup kita.
Maybe it's to ask your boss for a promotion.
Ya, mungkin minta ke atasan kita untuk promosi.
Though I didn't hear an amen from Pete for that one. Bali Life Crew, you might have to twist this one's arm. It's stepping into something that is a challenge.
Iya, berani mengambil langkah yang penuh tantangan, jangan di zona nyaman terus.
Maybe it's to say I'm going to volunteer somewhere, at a charity, at a shop, somewhere where I can be of service to others.
Iya, mungkin mengambil waktu untuk menjadi sukarelawan di tempat yang dimana kita bisa melayani orang.
Or maybe it's just something simple like showing kindness to people who everyone else ignores.
Atau hal simpel dengan melakukan kebaikan bagi orang lain, orang yang jarang kita temui.
It's often just stepping out in the small things which gives us greater courage and boldness when God asks us to take on bigger missions.
Iya, jadi kita harus melakukan mulai dari hal-hal kecil sebelum melangkah untuk melakukan hal besar dengan keberanian.
And that's exactly what happened to Gideon.
Sama seperti Gideon.
The Midianites, along with other enemy nations, they'd crossed over the Jordan River and they'd set up camp, obviously preparing for battle.
Ya, jadi bangsa Midian itu bergabung dengan musuh yang lain, menyeberangi sungai Yordan dan berkemah dekat bangsa Israel.
Verses 34 and 35 tell us that the Spirit of the Lord clothed Gideon with power. And he blew a ram's horn as a call to arms. And the men of the clan of Abiezer came to him. And he also sent messages throughout Manasseh, Asher, Zebulun, and Naphtali, summoning their warriors. And all of them responded. Gideon's preparing for war.
Ya, pada waktu itu roh Tuhan menguasai Gideon. Ditiupnyalah sangkakala dan orang-orang Abiezer dikerahkan untuk mengikuti dia. Juga dikirimnya pesan kepada seluruh suku Manasye dan orang-orang ini pun dikerahkan untuk mengikuti dia. Dikirimnya pula pesan kepada suku Asher, Zebulon, dan Naphtali dan orang-orang ini pun maju untuk menggabungkan diri dengan mereka.
I always leave it too late to drink. So here we see the Holy Spirit empowering Gideon.
Di sini kita lihat Roh Kudus memberi kuasa kepada Gideon.
And we see Gideon's leadership gift and courageous spirit that God's spoken to at the beginning starting to emerge.
Di mana kita lihat kalau kuasa yang Tuhan berikan dan juga kepemimpinannya mulai muncul.
As he assembles his army to fight, he calls men from all the different tribes.
Jadi dia memanggil orang-orang dari berbagai suku.
Gideon's still on a journey though.
Ya, dia masih dalam proses perjalanan.
He's still not sure about the huge mission in front of him.
Dia masih nggak yakin karena ini misi yang besar bagi dia.
And he's still asking for some more signs of confirmation.
Tapi dia masih minta tanda-tanda lagi dari Tuhan.
However, if you continue to read in chapters 6 and 7, and you can read this at home, Judges 6 and 7, we'll find Gideon, who was hiding from the Midianites and putting himself down, now realizes, sorry, that's a very long thing to translate. Here we go. Now realize that the mission God gave him to take on the whole army is now becoming a reality.
Ya, jadi kalau kita baca di pasal 6 dan 7 bagaimana Gideon meminta tanda dan dia menyadari bahwa ini adalah misi yang besar dari Tuhan.
So Mission Impossible, the movie, Tom Cruise had it easy compared to Gideon.
Jadi Tom Cruise itu punya misi yang lebih mudah dibandingkan dengan Gideon.
Gideon might not be able to fly a plane.
Mungkin Gideon nggak bisa naik pesawat yang
But he had 135,000 enemy soldiers coming against him.
Ya, jadi dia harus menghadapi 135.000 musuh.
It looked impossible.
Sangat tidak mungkin.
When Gideon numbered his men, he had about 32,000.
Di mana Gideon hanya memiliki pasukan 32.000.
32,000 against 135,000.
Ya, bandingkan 32.000 dengan 135.000.
Not very good odds.
Iya, sangat ganjal.
Israel was outnumbered.
Jadi Israel tuh jumlahnya lebih dikit.
But then hang on a sec, God decides there's still too many.
Ya, Tuhan bilang 32.000 masih banyak.
He was afraid that the Israelites, if they used their strength and their might, would say, we did it all by ourselves.
Ya, Tuhan nggak pengen bangsa Israel itu menjadi sombong kalau mereka menang perang ini.
We
Pikirnya
won,
karena kekuatan mereka.
We won this battle with our own strength.
Kami menang nih karena kami kuat, Tuhan.
And God instructs Gideon in this time to send home anyone who was scared.
Jadi Tuhan bilang, Gideon, pulangkan orang-orang yang takut.
And guess how many said they were scared?
Dan bayangkan berapa yang takut.
22,000
22 orang ribut takut, pulanglah mereka.
said, "Yep, I'm scared. See you later, Gideon. I'm home. Got
Yeah.
off home."
Saya takut, saya pulang ya.
That left him with 10,000 men.
Tinggallah 10.000 orang.
And I reckon the old Gideon, before God called him, probably would have said, I think I'll join you.
Mungkin Gideon juga termasuk kumpulan orang penakut.
But there was strength in Gideon now.
Ya, tapi saat itu Gideon sudah menjadi kuat.
But you know what? It still doesn't stop there.
Ya, tidak berhenti di sana.
God knew what type of warrior that he was looking for, and he put the remaining men, 10,000, through a test.
Ya, jadi di antara 10.000 orang itu masih dites mana yang dipilih.
And he wanted to see who was prepared to fight,
Ya, jadi dia mau lihat siapa sih yang ready untuk bertarung.
who was committed to the battle,
Siapa yang berkomitmen untuk perang ini?
or who was just so thirsty they were going to put down their weapons and have a big drink of water.
Siapa yang terlalu haus sehingga harus menaruh semua senjatanya di dekat air?
300 men were the only ones who stayed drinking with one hand and holding their swords or weapons in their other.
Ya, terpilihlah 300 orang yang minum dengan satu tangan dan masih memegang senjatanya.
So now we have 300 men against an army that's nearly 500 times their size.
Ya, jadi bangsa Israel 300 orang, bangsa Midian dan teman-temannya 135.000 orang.
Mission impossible, right?
Sangat mustahil.
It didn't seem it could happen.
Ya, kelihatannya nggak mungkin kita menang.
And God in his graciousness still knew Gideon's heart, so he gave him another sign that Israel would be successful.
Ya, jadi Tuhan begitu penuh kasih karunia, dia memberikan tanda bagi Gideon untuk dia memenangkan peperangan ini.
And then Gideon stepped out in strength
Dan Gideon melangkah dengan kekuatan, keberanian.
as a mighty warrior that he'd been called right back in the beginning,
Ya, makanya dia dipanggil pahlawan yang gagah berani.
as a fearless man of courage.
Sebagai orang yang tanpa rasa takut.
And even though they were totally outnumbered
Walaupun mereka kekurangan jumlah,
and only armed with trumpets, torches, and jars,
kekurangan jumlah prajurit hanya punya sangkakala, trompet
and an
juga
awful lot of shouting,
dan buyung dan juga hanya berteriak.
Gideon launched a sneak attack.
Akhirnya Gideon memberikan serangan.
And ended up getting the victory for Israel.
Dan akhirnya bangsa Israel menang menghadapi bangsa Midian.
And God got all the glory.
Dan segala kemuliaan bagi Tuhan.
Because without him, it would have been mission impossible.
Ya, karena tanpa Tuhan itu adalah hal yang mustahil.
300 men followed and won the battle against 135,000.
300 prajurit Israel melawan 135.000 bangsa Midian.
Mission accomplished.
Misi selesai.
And as the Bible records, one of the things they shouted out was by the sword of the Lord and of Gideon.
Iya, ketika mereka berteriak hanya karena pedang Tuhanlah yang melawan bangsa itu.
See, God needs you and I to work his purposes on this earth.
Tuhan membutuhkan saudara dan saya untuk melakukan tujuannya di atas bumi ini.
The Israelites recognized that it was Gideon and God that won the battle.
Ya, Israel menyadari bahwa karena Gideon dan Tuhanlah yang membuat mereka menang.
It takes us working with him.
Itu butuh kita plus Tuhan supaya bisa.
And one of the things that I love is in the New Testament, it records in Hebrews chapter 11, Gideon's name among the list of faithful heroes.
Ya, di Ibrani 11 nama Gideon merupakan salah satu orang yang adalah pahlawan iman.
Many of them had been given impossible missions like Gideon's.
Ya, di Ibrani 11 kita lihat banyak nama orang yang Tuhan melakukan hal-hal yang mustahil yang Tuhan suruh.
They were all ordinary people just like you and I.
Mereka tuh orang-orang biasa seperti saudara dan saya.
But they all had their faith in a God who makes the impossible possible.
Tapi mereka menaruh iman kepada Tuhan untuk menjadi hal yang mustahil menjadi mungkin.
Chapter 11, verse 34 in Hebrews tells us that they were the ones, this list of heroes, whose weakness was turned to strength and who became powerful in battle.
Di Ibrani 11 ayat 34, mereka telah luput dari mata pedang, telah beroleh kekuatan dalam kelemahan, telah menjadi kuat dalam peperangan dan telah memukul mundur pasukan-pasukan tentara asing.
And this really sums up Gideon's story
Ini menyimpulkan kisah Gideon.
of being sent and completing his mission impossible.
Dia diutus dan menyelesaikan misinya.
It started off with being called by God
Dimulai dengan dipanggil oleh Tuhan.
and Gideon responding,
Gideon merespon,
I'm too scared and fearful.
waktu itu dia mulai bilang, aku takut dan aku takut.
I'm not good enough. I'm insignificant.
Aku kurang cukup baik dan aku tidak berarti.
I'm intimidated.
Saya terintimidasi.
I'm going to need lots of confirmations.
Saya butuh banyak konfirmasi.
Okay, I'll take a small step of obedience to what you're asking me.
Oke Tuhan, saya mau mengambil langkah ketaatan.
To finally saying, now I trust you.
Akhirnya dia berkata, Tuhan aku percaya padamu.
Now I believe that you are a God of the impossible.
Sekarang aku percaya engkau Allah yang sanggup melakukan hal yang mustahil.
And that you can use me
Dan kau bisa memakai
to do
aku
what you've called me to do.
melakukan apa yang kau mau untuk aku lakukan.
Gideon's weaknesses were turned to strengths.
Kelemahan Gideon menjadi kekuatan.
And he developed into that mighty, fearless man
Dan dia menjadi pahlawan yang gagah berani.
that got rid of the enemies away from the Israelites.
Yang melawan musuh yang menyerang bangsa Israel.
Because he learned that when God calls us, he equips us.
Karena dia belajar ketika Tuhan memanggil kita, Tuhan akan memperlengkapi kita.
Whether it's something small or something really big.
Dengan hal kecil maupun hal besar.
It is not based, remember, on our abilities.
Bukan dengan kekuatan kita.
It's based on faith in a living God who is alive within us.
Tapi dengan iman kita percaya bahwa Tuhan yang sanggup menolong kita.
Who says greater is his power within us than any power that is out there that tries to come against us.
Karena ada kuasa yang besar di dalam Tuhan daripada kuasa musuh yang melawan kita.
So as we finish and go back to the verse that I started with in Hebrews chapter 12, he talks about the fact that as we run our race, as we are put on this earth to complete a call, he says that we are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses who have gone before us, those that have already died in the faith. And then he tells us, to the writer of Hebrews, which is probably the Apostle Paul, he says to run with perseverance the race which is marked out for us, keeping our eyes on Jesus, the author and the perfecter of our faith.
Di Ibrani 12 dikatakan bahwa dan berlomba dengan tekun dalam perlombaan yang diwajibkan bagi kita. Marilah kita melakukannya dengan mata yang tertuju kepada Yesus yang memimpin kita dalam iman dan yang membawa iman kita itu kepada kesempurnaan.
We keep our eyes on Jesus.
Mari mata kita fokus pada Yesus.
He is the one who knows us from the beginning to the end.
Karena Tuhanlah yang mengenal kita dari awal dan dengan sampai akhir.
We serve a God who makes things that are impossible possible.
Iya, kita melayani Tuhan yang membuat hal mustahil menjadi mungkin.
So no matter what challenge you might be facing in your life now or up ahead,
Apapun tantangan yang saudara hadapi sekarang maupun yang kedepannya nanti,
I want you to remember the story of Gideon.
saya ingin saudara ingat kisah Gideon ini.
How he felt weak and insignificant.
Ketika dia merasa lemah dan tidak berarti.
Yet because he placed his trust and confidence in a mighty God, he won the victory and overcame the challenges.
Ketika dia menaruh iman dan percayanya kepada Tuhan yang besar, dia memenangkan perang.